Toyota's emblem has long stood for unfussy cars that outlast fads, potholes, and sometimes their owners' patience. Yet 2025 proves that even an automotive titan can serve up a mixed platter of brilliance and blunders. One of this year's new SUVs actually forced Toyota to broadcast a global "do not drive" advisory because the wheels could wander off on their own. Another flaunts edgy street style but accelerates with the urgency of a sluggish sloth. A third demands luxury car money, guzzles gas like a 1990s pickup, and still can't fit a week's groceries behind its third row. On the flip side, Toyota has also delivered 3 crossovers that feel like love letters to families, adventurers, and commuters alike. A cavernous hybrid that lets road-tripping clans skip fuel stops. A reborn off-road legend that finally sips gas. And a wagon SUV hybrid so polished it's practically Lexus light at a bargain price. By the end of this rundown, you'll know which Toyotas deserve a place in your driveway and which ones should stay in the dealer lot, no matter how glossy the brochure. The latest CHR makes a striking first impression with its origami-sharp creases, blacked-out roof, and daring paint options that look like they were nabbed from a sneaker catalogue. Unfortunately, that head-turning design comes at a sizable cost in everyday usability. The coupe-like roof pinches rear seat headroom to the point where adult passengers either slump forward or ride with their necks cocked sideways against the pillar. Legroom fares no better. 6-footers discover the front seat backs intrude on their knees, and the narrow footwells leave little space to shuffle around for comfort. Performance is the other glaring weak spot. The revised 2.0-litre 4-cylinder soldiers on with a modest 144 horsepower, funneled through a CVT that drones like an overworked vacuum cleaner the moment you ask for anything more than relaxed cruising. Independent testing clocks the sprint from 0 to 60 in a yawn-inducing 11.2 seconds, slower than a base Corolla sedan, and miles behind turbocharged rivals from Mazda or Kia. Merging onto a busy freeway becomes an exercise in patience and planning. You'll find yourself flooring the pedal several seconds before the gap opens, praying the powertrain wakes up before traffic does. Then there's visibility. Style-obsessed designers carve chunky C-pillars that leave only a letter slot rear window. Every lane change becomes a leap of faith, and parking maneuvers require total trust in the low-resolution rear camera, which struggles to stay crisp in low-light conditions. Add a cargo bay that musters just 19 cubic feet, and the CHR starts to look more like an impractical fashion accessory than a daily driver. The cruelest twist? Pricing. In top XLE premium trim, the invoice edges dangerously close to $40,000. Only a stone's throw from Toyota's own RAV4 hybrid, which offers more space, nearly twice the horsepower, and far better fuel economy. The CHR is a textbook example of why some Toyotas fail to live up to the badge's bulletproof reputation. Snazzy looks masking an undercooked core. Quick recap bullet. Eye-catching styling hides crippling rear seat and cargo compromises. Sluggish 11-second 0 to 60 mph time makes highway merging stressful. Thick pillars and tiny rear window create daily blind spot headaches. Near $40,000 pricing places it alongside far superior alternatives in Toyota's own showroom. If the CHR is the sports coupe wannabe, the Sequoia stands at the opposite extreme, a full-size, body-on-frame Goliath that promises big family freedom. On paper, the spec sheet dazzles. 437 horsepower from a twin-turbo V6 hybrid, up to 9,000 pounds of towing capacity and seating for 8. In reality, the compromises are so substantial that many buyers have walked away disillusioned. Start with the cargo conundrum. With all 3 rows upright, the trunk offers an almost comedic 12 cubic feet, less space than a Mazda MX-5 Roadster. Camping weekends or grocery hauls often mean folding the 3rd row entirely, essentially reducing the Sequoia to a 2-row SUV with a cavernous void behind. That puny cargo hold stems from the bulky hybrid battery Toyota wedged under the 3rd row floor to power its iForce Max powertrain. To disguise the raised load floor, engineers added a sliding shelf, but it rattles over rough pavement and bows noticeably under the weight of heavy luggage or a pet carrier. Meanwhile, real-world fuel economy hovers between 15 and 18 miles per gallon, a far cry from Toyota's glossy marketing promises. Long vacation drives convert into an expensive hopscotch from one pump to the next, forcing the kids to stream extra cartoons in the back while mom or dad refuels yet again. Interior quality also disappoints. Despite 6-figure price tags on fully loaded capstone models, reviewers note hard plastics along the lower dashboard, rough seat-base trim, and misaligned stitching on the door panels. For many shoppers, the Sequoia's cramped 3rd row, thirsty appetite, and unexpectedly cheap touches feel like deal breakers, especially when the competing Chevy Tahoe or Ford Expedition offer more space and smoother ride quality for similar money. Quick recap bullet. Minuscule 12QF trunk with all seats up undermines family practicality. Hybrid battery placement raises floor, causing awkward, rattly shelf solution. Real-world fuel economy languishes in the teens, erasing any eco vibe. Cabin materials underwhelm at a $70,000 to $80,000 sticker price. Toyota fans waited years for the brand's first modern EV, convinced it would blend Prius-grade reliability with silent, zero-emission motoring. Instead, the BZ4X debut turned into a PR nightmare. Mere months after launch, Toyota recalled every unit worldwide because loose hub bolts could allow wheels to detach. Owners were advised not to drive until repairs, a stark reversal for a brand synonymous with bulletproof dependability. The fix eventually arrived, but the reputational scar remained, and Consumer Reports now flags the BZ4X with below-average predicted reliability. Unfortunately, the BZ4X's woes extend beyond one embarrassing defect. When it comes to range and charging performance, Toyota's Trailblazer already feels behind the curve. Depending on wheel size and drivetrain, EPA range falls between 222 and 252 miles. In contrast, Hyundai's Ioniq 5 tips 303 miles, Kia's EV6 crosses 300, and Tesla's Model Y hovers near 330. Even Nissan's Ariya, hardly the class darling, edges out Toyota by at least 20 miles. When it's finally time to juice up, the BZ4X peaks at 150 kilowatts, leaving drivers loitering at highway chargers, while the Kia and Hyundai sip electrons at up to 230 kilowatts. Toyota promises an incremental efficiency boost via software updates hitting European fleets first, but American customers remain stuck on yesterday's firmware. Adding insult to injury, Toyota priced the BZ4X only a few $1,000s below luxury crossovers like the Audi Q4 e-tron. The interior hardly justifies the premium, offering a tablet-style infotainment screen flanked by chunky plastic bezels and hard contact points where elbows naturally rest. Factor in the May range, Tepid performance, 0 to 60 miles per hour in about 7 seconds for the AWD model, and a tarnished reliability halo, and the BZ4X feels like a first draft that made it to market before the editor red-inked the margins. Quick recap bullet. Infamous recall over wheel detachment risk-shattered brand trust. Subpar 222 to 252 mile range trails nearly every competitor. Minus 150 kilowatt max charging speed means longer pit stops on road trips. Price sits uncomfortably close to more refined luxury EVs. Now for Toyota's redemption arc, beginning with the aptly named Grand Highlander Hybrid, a vehicle that earns its grandness in ways the Sequoia can't. The moment you climb inside, you notice the panorama of space, headroom so generous even lanky teens don't brush the headliner, shoulder room wide enough to keep siblings from elbow wars, and a third row that welcomes adults on more than just the drive to the neighborhood pizza place. Drop the rear seats, and a whopping 98 cubic feet of flat, usable space emerges, plenty for mountain bikes, flat pack furniture, or a small apartment's worth of moving boxes. Power comes from a 2.5-litre four-cylinder hybrid that silently shuffles out of driveways before switching on gasoline assistance. With 243 horsepower, acceleration feels brisk around town and surprisingly eager on highway on-ramps. If you crave extra punch or need to haul a trailer, the Hybrid Max grade pairs a turbocharged four-cylinder with electric motors to unleash 362 horsepower and a diesel-like 400 pound-feet of torque. That twisty wall of power merges effortlessly and tows up to 5,000 pounds without drama. Fuel economy remains a core selling point. The base hybrid posts 36 miles per gallon combined, meaning families can road trip from Los Angeles to Portland on a single tank with room to spare. Tech and comfort treats abound. A 12.3-inch touchscreen anchors the cabin, but Toyota wisely retained physical knobs for climate and volume, so you're not stabbing glass while bouncing down a bumpy interstate. Optional hands-free traffic jam assist takes over steering, braking, and throttle at lower speeds, easing the monotony of gridlock. Triple zone climate control lets each seating row set its own temperature, no more bickering, and thanks to acoustic glass and thick insulation, passengers report phone call level quiet even at 80 miles per hour. Quick recap bullet. Nearly 98 cubic feet of cargo space makes road trips and DIY moves painless. Minus 36 miles per gallon combined, base hybrid, or 362 horsepower torque monster, Hybrid Max, covers every use case. Hands-free driver assist tech and triple zone climate keep families comfortable. Thoughtful mix of touch and physical controls reduces distraction.
For adventurers who count dirt tracks as therapy, the revived Land Cruiser is a dream realized. Toyota trimmed the bloated dimensions of the outgoing 200 series and returned the nameplate to its authentic go-anywhere soul. Beneath the flatter hood sits the iForce Max Hybrid, a 2.4-litre turbo 4 mated to a 48-horse electric motor integrated into the 8-speed automatic. Peak output clocks in at 326 horsepower and 465 pound-feet of torque delivered from barely above idle, providing the kind of low-end grunt once reserved for diesel SUVs. That torque meets a full-time four-wheel drive system featuring a locking center diff, optional locking rear diff, and a new crawl control that acts like low-speed cruise control on gnarly terrain. With the underbody shielded by skid plates and approach angles rivaling the Jeep Wrangler, the Land Cruiser scampers up boulder fields and descends slippery shale with equal poise. Yet on pavement, the magic lies in how civil the ride feels. Refinements in the ladder frame and adaptive dampers keep body shake to a minimum, while highway fuel economy can flirt with 25 miles PG, numbers unthinkable for previous V8 generations. Inside, nostalgia meets modernity. The dash sports a horizontal metal accent reminiscent of vintage 70 series models. Large rubberized buttons invite gloved winter hands, and there's even an analog inclinometer perched proudly atop the center stack to keep tabs on pitch and roll angles. 2 glove boxes offer ample stash space, and an optional 14-speaker JBL system pumps out trail anthems with studio clarity. Sure, the cargo area is a bit tight compared with unibody crossovers, and the lift-over height challenges pets under 15 pounds, but for buyers seeking bulletproof hardware and hybrid thrift in a single package, no competitor matches the Land Cruiser's balance of heritage grit and modern efficiency. Quick recap: Bullet. Compact yet capable. Full-time 4-wheel drive, twin lockers, crawl control on tap. Hybrid powertrain delivers diesel-like torque and mid-20s miles per gallon. Heritage-inspired interior with practical glove-friendly controls. Skid plates and adaptive dampers let it conquer trails and cruise highways. The Crown Signia looks nothing like your neighbour's crossover. It sits a touch lower, leans into its wagon's silhouette, and wears satin chrome surround trim that catches sunlight like jewellery. All versions come with a 2.5-litre 4-cylinder hybrid, plus dual electric motors and standard all-wheel drive. Good for 240 horsepower. On paper, those figures mirror the base Grand Highlander, yet the Signia's lower centre of gravity and 350-pound weight advantage lend it genuinely agile. Reflexes on winding roads drop a wheel onto loose gravel, and the rear motor instantly funnels torque aft, erasing any hint of front drive understeer. Fuel economy sits a thirst-quenching 38 miles per gallon combined, so close to Prius territory that commuters giggle at the pump tally. Inside, Toyota went all in on near-luxury ambience. Quilted Softex seats are perforated for cooling. Bronze tint metallic accents trace the doors and dash, and LED ambient lighting offers 14 hues from soothing glacier blue to energizing ruby. Acoustic laminate windshield glass hushes wind whoosh, and the suspension's frequency selective dampers soak up expansion joints while preserving cornering composure. Tech-wise, the Signia borrows Lexus toys without their price premiums: a panoramic 12.3-inch digital cluster, 360-degree camera with see-through vehicle projection, and a cloud-linked navigation platform that reroutes on the fly to dodge congested city cores. Rear passengers enjoy toasty heated seats, twin USB-C outlets, and a clever roof-mounted air diffuser that eliminates drafts. When adventure calls, the Signia's 70 cubic feet of maximum cargo capacity swallows mountain bikes or surfboards thanks to its long, nearly flat floor. Starting price is kiss $48,000, the closest Lexus RX hybrid by almost 10 grand, and offering similar refinement. Quick recap: Bullet. Stylish lifted wagon aesthetic stands out in a sea of bland boxes. 38 miles per gallon combined ensures commuter and road trip savings. Near premium cabin materials, ambient lighting, and cloud-based tech stack. 70 cubic foot cargo hold, standard all-wheel drive, and agile handling broaden versatility. Toyota's 2025 SUV lineup reads like a cautionary tale with a happily ever after. The CHR proves that edgy styling can't mask a wheezy engine, cramped quarters, and near luxury pricing. The Sequoia's hybrid swagger collapses under the weight of a cargo bay barely big enough for a couple of backpacks, and its thirst for fuel borders on comedic, given its eco-branding. The BZ4X, once poised to electrify Toyota's reputation, instead offered an unplanned lesson in damage control, disadvantaged range, and premium pricing. Yet the pendulum swings back. The Grand Highlander hybrid emerges as the new family hero, delivering minivan room, crossover style, and road trip-friendly mileage. The Land Cruiser 250 series finally fuses legendary durability with 21st century thrift, turning off-road expeditions into guilt-free getaways. And the Crown Signia whispers Lexus serenity while maintaining Toyota practicality, proving you can have sophistication and sensible operating costs in one handsome package. with insiders hinting that Toyota may axe pure gasoline powertrains from the next-gen RAV4 as early as 2026. Today's winners and losers could flip in the blink of a hybrid-powered eye. Until then, remember, a badge sets expectations, but details determine destiny. Which Toyota would make or break your driveway? Drop your thoughts below, hit subscribe if you crave more candid car deep dives, and above all, drive curious.